Hey Outlaws, and welcome back. We are talking more about Dune. And this time, instead of doing a trailer reaction where I was completely caught by surprise on who these people were, we're going to talk about the actual Dune 2 characters and who they were, their names. I know at one point I was like, I remember this girl's name, but I don't remember the actress's name. And yes, it is Zendaya. I know, shame on me. Actually, I don't really care. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so Dune 2, a lot of new characters coming on. Like I said, I read the book a long time ago. Then I started reading the book again when the first movie came out. But it's been a heartbeat since the first movie came out. And I got like this much in with like the book was like that much. So, yeah. All right, so Dune Part 2 is set to continue the story of Denis Villeneuve's. I have no idea who that guy's name is. Basically, Frank Herbert's. It's going to continue the film adaptation of Frank Herbert's book, Dune. Okay? Following the journey, the hero's journey of Paula Treaties, although there are some elements in it where it's like, is it really a hero's journey or is it kind of a hero's journey? Dune is sophisticated. It's a very sophisticated sci-fi that I think sometimes has been adapted in a very poor manner in the past that just doesn't really do it justice. Okay, so obviously, the first person up here is going to be Paula Treaties, the son of the Duke of Treaties, who was murdered by House Harkonnen, and then they almost got wiped out. I know the main Duke of House Harkonnen got and breathed that poison into his lungs, and then he almost got killed because the Duke had like this little tooth thing right here that popped and then releases a bunch of crazy gas. Good times, good fun. Anyways, so Timothy here, I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name. It looks French, perhaps? Maybe Timothy Chalamet returns as Paul Treaties in Dune Part 2, who's the Duke of House Treaties, which there's not really much House Treaties left, so sure, he could be a Duke. Seeking revenge against House of Karn. I already kind of said that. So Paul was, when we last left off, he finally ran into the freedmen of Arrakis. And most particularly, Zendaya's character was introduced. I don't really feel like they had enough time to actually get to know each other, obviously, because it was towards the end of the movie, and there wasn't much interaction with it. But there's obviously some level of interest there that we at least were shown a little bit about, and it's probably going to develop more into the second movie if they just don't skip a bunch of time there and skip parts of the book to continue having the movie move along. We shall see. Okay, and that particular individual is Chani, played by Zendaya. As you can see right here with her really very hardcore cosplay outfit to keep all the sweat inside in the water so that you can drink it up. Because if you don't know about it, Arrakis, desert planet, not a lot of moisture. Water is a very valuable resource. So these people keep suits that absorb all of their body sweat, recycles it through filtration system, and I think their pee too, so that's kind of gross. And then it makes it so they continue drinking that water, because otherwise they're going to lose it and they're not going to live and survive. Pretty hardcore. So yeah, I don't really know of any culture that actually does that in real life, because that's not a very viable or good way to keep water and keep yourself alive, but I digress. This is science fiction after all. Okay, so Zendaya will continue her role as Chani in Dune Part 2, obviously. She, and they bring it up here too, she wasn't really shown that much in the first movie. It was really just introducing Paul Treaties, a little bit of what's going on in the background, how House Treaties was basically set up for failure, but they had to go due to politics and whatever reasons, and then House Harkonnen is killing them off in order to gain back control of Arrakis, and the Emperor did it because I guess he was losing political stability within his own kingdom. Okay, so moving forward from there. Now, like I said before, I know Zendaya from Spider-Man. I thought she was a very boring Mary Jane. People probably have different opinions on that, but honestly, I prefer the vibrant redhead Mary Jane version than Zendaya's kind of like moody, like, I don't really care, whatever Mary Jane. I thought it was very boring. Is that her fault? No, not entirely. It was the way the script was written, but also they picked her, so yeah. Like I said, I prefer vibrant, alive, Mary Jane. So, what my opinion of her is Chani for Dune, I don't know. I'm not like a huge hardcore Dune fan, as you guys saw in my trailer reaction. I was kind of stumbling over my words and character names, which is why I'm doing this now. So we'll see how she does. We'll see. Okay, so you have Austin Butler coming here as Fade Ratha Harkonnen. So another Harkonnen family member. who is basically coming, and they don't really talk much about him other than he's the bald-headed villain, showcasing the terrifying character who will go up against Paula Treaties. Okay, so Paula Treaties is going to directly engage with this individual and fight him, probably being sent there as an assassin or a top. He looks more like a top-level commander. He's got the House Harkonnen look, you know, with the bald head and the really serious, angry face. So he's going to go toe-to-toe with our hero, Paula Treaties. Interesting. Okay, so Princess Roland, I did look her up. She is the daughter of the Emperor. So Florence Pugh, I don't know, well, I'm not pronouncing that correctly, or hopefully I am, is the eldest daughter of Emperor Shaddam IV of House Carino. And Emperor Shaddam is going to be showcased in this article a little bit later on down. So she's supposedly she's related to the Emperor. We saw her in the trailer where, I have the trailer right here, so don't worry, where she was talking about, is Paula Treaties actually dead? There she is right there. So what that will lead to, I believe, is a more thorough search seeking out Paula Treaties, or perhaps what will happen is we're going to see another, remember, because again, I haven't read the book in a while, or watched any of the movies or sci-fi flicks, might be seeing that the Emperor will then change sides again and allow House Atreides to destroy House Harkonnen and then side with House Atreides. Or perhaps Paul Atreides will go even further and try to replace the Emperor or overthrow him. Or dethrone him, or ally with his enemies and destroy him that way. Lots of stuff going on. I really need to finish this book. Okay. Moving down. Okay, so here's Paul Atreides' mom, Lady Jessica. We knew her. She was the Bene Gesserit's, like, not, I don't think top, but she was very powerful within that particular that sect. And she betrayed her oath, or betrayed what she was supposed to do, and gave Paul Atreides a son because he really, really wanted one. She doesn't get shoved off to the side. She becomes like a huge, huge prophet for the Freemen. Hence why she now has writings all over her face. Obviously, the spice of Dune, or sorry, spice of Arrakis, Dune, basically the same thing, is starting to affect her eyes and make it turn more blue. So we showed her and Paul surviving, getting out of there. Good times. Now, we got a little less important characters coming up, not to include the Emperor, who is still fairly important, but you got Josh Brolin coming back as a member of the Paul Atreides household and weapons specialist. We have this guy who's hanging out in what basically looks like a mud bath gone wrong. This is him trying to heal up after that poison released by Duke Atreides almost killed him and basically killed everyone else off in the room. He got away because he was floating way, 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 way up in the crack of the roof. So, our ceiling, sorry. So, good job there, Baron Vladimir Harkonnen. You're still alive and kicking. So, he obviously will make a return. Now, here is the actual nephew that we saw basically attacking House Atreides and leading like some of the assaults on there, and very, very emotional character, Glossu Raban. Now, the interesting thing about him is that he's very emotional, very like out of control. This guy does not give me those kind of vibes. Fade Rotha Harkonnen does not come off as overly emotional and out of control. More like his dad or uncle right here. Not so much like this out of control, emotional dude. Okay, so this gentleman right here, again, he was like the assistant to House Atreides. I'm surprised he's still around. I thought he'd be dead. Basically, like helping organize, doing data, run more like the logisticals side of it. Aha! The mother of the Bene Gesserit. She is going to be reprise her role again, obviously, of course, because we need to see her engage more. Like with Dune 2, I feel like we're really going to get more politics, background information of what's going on in the universe of Dune in order to better set up the entire universe, the galaxy-wide, universe-wide aspects of Dune to help better explain it to the mainstream audience. To bring more political play into it. Because if they're going to be doing 3 films, they have to get people more and more engaged rather than just like, hey, here's Zendaya and her boyfriend Timothy hanging out in the desert, riding sandworms and making sand babies. Yeah! Although I'm sure there probably is a market for that particular type of film. We'd have to see. Okay. This guy we see a lot in the Dune trailer. He's just kind of like saying, don't do anything crazy. Yeah, there's the Rathu, yeah, Harkonnen. Actually, I think I mixed up his name again. Let's take a look back. And it is Fade. Oh, nope, I was right. Fade Rathu Harkonnen. Give me time. I'll need to learn memorize their names. Okay, so here we go. He's trying to talk to him, talk to Paula Treaties, like don't do anything crazy, whatever. Honestly, he just comes off as being very intimidated by what Paula Treaties is going. Because remember, Paul becomes like a messiah to these people, like larger than life. Is it actually who he is? Not really, but he's talented enough, and he has that particular skill that Bene Gesserit's recognized in order to become a ruling class elite. So, Dune is very politically oriented. All right, we're going to spoon back down. I think we're almost done here with all the main characters I care to talk about. And there he is, the Ember himself. They don't even have a picture of him. Christopher Walken. I mean, are we really surprised? Would you expect anybody else? Maybe anybody else. So, Christopher Walken will be the Emperor Saddam IV of House Carino and the known universe. So we are going to see him show up in this second film. We have not seen it, though, in the trailers just yet. Okay, you've got Léa Seydoux as Lady Margot. What her purpose is, I have no idea. I feel like, let's see. Oh, a member of the Bene Gesserit. Same group as Lady Ferguson's Jessica, and a close ally of Emperor Saddam IV. Okay, cool. So she is going to bring to life more of court politics. And I really feel like that's what we're going to see. We're going to see a lot more of the Emperor's throne room and his court politics at his level, especially since you have Princess Roland here also being showcased in the trailer. And then scroll back down, we have a few more people that I just don't really care about. Well, let's do this one right here. Okay, so when I looked at her name, Shakayla, I kind of figured she was a freeman. Okay, and it looks like I was correct. So Heyla Yakub plays Shakayla, a freeman warrior in Dune Part 2. And then she has 2 past projects that sound like something you'd see in a different type of film category. Okay, so we got a lot going on here. This one was kind of long, but I wanted to start introducing and start opening up the doorway to discuss these characters each individually and what their parts are going to be as this film moves forward and within the known Dune universe. Whew! All right, if you're still with us, thanks, Outlaws. Hopefully you like the lighting. We're kind of messing around with stuff, seeing how it looks, and we'll see you next time.